They don't let people do this.
Oh,
Only
wow.
two of us said yes. We had to climb over this stone wall, and there was a little bit of stone about 8 inches that jutted out, and we had to stand on it and hold our hands on that stone wall, because if we didn't, we would fall all the way down,
Oh
because that's all there was.
my
And
gosh.
so, yeah, it was crazy. So you didn't want to look back. And so they were doing whatever it is they do, in sacred
Mhm.
ceremony. And we had our eyes closed, and the woman had said to those that were there in our group, she said, look at the forehead, because you will see when the third eye, the clairvoyant
Yeah.
phase, our energy, you'll see it open up, you'll see a color. And I did for the woman. I saw it on the woman that went first, and then I went, and they all saw it on me. But what was happening is, when my eyes were closed, information was being downloaded so rapidly, like a movie, of all these ancient records. So you couldn't stop and look at it. You just couldn't. You just knew
Wow.
that something was shifting, and it was really fast, like lightning bolts. And when we got done, I went to meditate on one of the mountains there, and someone snapped a picture of me, and you could just see in my eyes that I am in a completely different frequency. I
Yes.
didn't, you know,
Yes.
and I didn't know until I actually got home that my gifts, including my clairaudient gift, to hear these messages, had been enhanced. And I was sitting and writing one day all these messages that were flowing, that eventually became not only soul wisdom cards, but also I was guided over time, and slowly, because I was like, no, I can't do that. I don't do readings.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
wasn't fully accepting it yet, but I was being shown the soul wisdom layout of our life journey. I was shown why we have our challenges and how to help people through that, and to get to the different frequencies, instead of focusing on just the worries, just the bad things, just the bumps in the road, what it's really about. I was shown that, there's an evolution process in what the person's unique purpose is, which again is not a job or career. It's really
Yes.
how we're showing up. So that
Yes.
was the first part. And when I began to do those consultations, they were really emotional and mind blowing. And then over time, I was shown how to do an entire blueprint in different areas of our lives from the soul perspective, not from the linear direction that we are accustomed to living in that part of our brain. And so I've been coaching people now for a while on these different levels. And even when I went back to Peru last year and we were meditating with one of the shaman there, I was shown another level of all this. So it keeps unfolding. And the more that I clear myself out, the more that I listen, the more that I'm not afraid to allow these gifts to come through. I'm also there to support and assist others to allow their gifts to come through.
Yes. Oh, so many nuggets in there. So good. We definitely have some parallels. And I was in Peru 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, working with some shamans out there, and some pretty incredible things happened to me as well. But I remember it was not long before that one of my best girlfriends said, it's time for you to come out of the spiritual closet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and much like you, I denied so many things for quite a while. Like, no, 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 this can't be. And so I just want to say it's really beautiful what you're doing, and I love what you said at the end there about opening yourself up more, because it is so often these veils that we have over us, or these
Mm-hmm.
preconceived notions or perspectives that are almost always put on to us by other people,
Mm-hmm.
that dim, the light and the power that we really have inside.
Absolutely. And it's a time now more than ever for all of us to remember. I'm separating that word, to remember, to put ourselves
Yeah.
back, to remember who we are. We're needed. We are powerful, loving creatures of God. And we have allowed ourselves, for all different reasons, over, gosh, thousands of years, to not own that power. And it's
Mm.
really interesting, because when I was 12 years old, I had a priest tell me, which is interesting in of itself, a priest tell me at 12, because I was a little bit rebellious, if you can imagine that. And he said, young lady, I want you in your lifetime to study science, religion, metaphysics, philosophy, and I want you to go back to learn about ancient times. and go back to the matriarchal times to learn your truth.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm now 64. So for 52 years, I have been on that journey of remembering who I am and helping others tap into that wisdom of themselves to find their passion, but to trust it and have a renewed sense of who they are and why they're needed here in this planet.
Talk about a divine message for you from a priest of all people.
From a priest. Yes.
Wow.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
Really cool. And I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I'm really curious because you mentioned the blueprints, and I know you do a lot of different soul purpose consultation work. Can you talk a little bit more about that? I think you mentioned you do it in different areas. I want people to get a really clear idea of what kind of work you do, because it's quite fascinating.
Okay, so the soul purpose reading is actually, it's a 75-minute consultation where we do go over what your life lesson is. I call it the journey card, okay, that gets revealed. We do a meditation prior. We connect in the highest level of your soul wisdom, or some people call it the Akashic records, with mine. So I am separate and removed from this. I am working as the facilitator, the channel of this information that comes through. And the cards that were channeled through me as well and created that way have a lot of meanings and messages. And the Hawaiians, the kahuna, were actually the ones that told me to look at the words as frequencies and not meanings.
Yeah.
And so we go into the frequencies of this, and I teach people how to do that so that it's not just the consultation telling you everything. You've got to do the work. You've got to tap into this and focus on like these higher priorities that are really here for you, that are trying to motivate you into the healing process and to evolve into yourself. Okay. So we work on that first. And then the blueprint is actually, it's actually like a 10-week thing we do. So we get the blueprint reading first, which is 6 different areas, and it works along with the first 3. So that it's building upon it. Okay. And I am helping basically give people the spiritual sight to fully awaken and to clearly know and see how their soul wants to operate. For example, we know we have a body, right? And it's muscle and bone and all this. And we know we have to eat good, exercise, and drink water. But when we're operating from the soul perspective, it has nothing to do with the lower frequency of our physical being. Our body is more of a temple, and how energetically it is moving in and out of lives here to help support and assist people. And so it gives you a different insight on what your body even needs. And then we go into all these different categories up to your highest purpose of serving here. And then there's much more that's involved around that on different layers, where the divine feminine and masculine come into play, what the actual the key that opens your mindset to your high service here.
That just sounds so amazing. And, because you are obviously not only just very gifted and talented, but you seem very passionate about helping others. I'm wondering if you could put it into words, like what really drives this for you, Gloria?
My soul drives it. It always has. And I see that now. I mean, I look at my entire life. If we look at every single thing, big, small, or what we think indifferent of our life, it brought each of us, you and I, right here today, right here in this moment. If we had not paid attention to the things that took us to this moment, we wouldn't be sharing this message to the world. So your soul and my soul have aligned and said, hey, this is what you do now. And so when I pay attention to that, which is the majority of my life now, I have to, then I show up. And that is where the passion comes. I'm human. Okay. So if I go off track and I decide, I don't want to listen to you today, I don't want to do that. I don't have the courage to do that. Then my life doesn't go so easy. And then I have to work through that journey card again and say, what did I miss? What am I not seeing? Because we repeat patterns. But when I tap into the soul, the wisdom of the soul, it's always coming to me in dream state, in signs and synchronicities everywhere. And it's even how this whole book that you mentioned earlier, this book that evolved, it wasn't on my goal list to do this book with 12 women collaborating. this was the soul's driving force. And once you're tapped into that energy, you can't deny it for very long. You can go in and out of it, but eventually you're going to realize if you want to live purposely, okay, that is your passion. That is your driving force. And that's why these consultations are helping people literally change their lives.
Yes. It's the, you can't unknow something once you know it. And that's so
exactly.
True. Absolutely. So we have just a couple of minutes and we do need to wrap up here, but I definitely want people to know how to find you and the special offer you have, if you could share that.
Okay. Well, they can go to my website to find me, which is gloriacoppola.com. And they could email me, which is always the easiest way. It was gloria@gloriacoppola.com. And I keep things simple. That way, not only you remember me, I remember me. so I spell my last name C-O-P as in Paul, P again, O-L-A. So gloria@gloriacoppola.com is the easiest way to get to me. And I do soul purpose wisdom consultations and also the soul blueprint coaching. And I can go over all of that for anybody that, emails me. And for the soul purpose wisdom reading, I will offer a special discount to those that are on your show and take 25% off the normal price. So all they have to do is send me an email and say they heard me on your show, and I will offer that discount to them.
You're so generous. So if your soul is tugging at you right now, get a hold of this amazing woman. You will not regret it. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. She is coming back next week. So if you haven't got enough of her, definitely want to tune back in. We're going to have another great conversation. And of course, if you want to know more about me, head on over to my website, jillianbeth.love. And just thank you again for hanging out with us today. My desire is for each and every one of you to be living your soul's purpose. Thanks, Gloria.
Thank you.